Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video talking to you about a new lube that I've been using for a few months now. I did a video on it a while back when I first got it to talk about one of the deals they were doing, but it is the Venom XPLC from Strike Industries. As you guys know, I've been using a lot of Strike Industries stuff, so when they told me about this new lube that was coming out, I decided I had to try it for myself. Now, full disclosure, I paid full retail price for this thing. And I wanted to test it for as long as possible across as many firearms as possible, as many weather environments as possible, to really give you guys a good informed opinion on what I think of this. Now, the fact that this can has gotten kind of beat up over my use should indicate that this thing has been heavily used and thrown around. And I've used it in hot sun, I've used it in rain, I've used it in snow, and so far I can say it has worked exceptionally well. The main test that I really wanted to put it through, though, was a rifle class that I took a couple weekends ago with Spartan Training Concepts. Now, that rifle class was 1,000 total rounds. It ended up actually being about 1,200 rounds, and I put that through my little SBR here. This is a Spikes Tactical Lower, formed one with a 11.5-inch BCM upper. If you're interested in the paint job, check out montactical.com. I'll put links below. Did this with spray paint and stencils that I got from Montactical. Anyway, that aside, during that class, the entire first day was pouring down rain, and it had been raining for days leading up to it, so everything was going to be really muddy, and I knew that it would be an excellent test to see how well the anti-venom held up in adverse conditions, basically getting mud, dirt, and rain all into this upper receiver. Like I said, put over 1,000 rounds through this rifle, and everything went surprisingly well. All I did was I lubed it up at the very beginning of the class. I opened up the bolt and sprayed a bunch inside the bolt carrier into the upper receiver itself, and then just kind of ran it from there. And I did not touch it again. I did not clean it at all or re-lube it throughout the entire 1,200 rounds of that class. I'm going to roll in some pictures that I took when I actually finally broke this thing down to clean it, and this thing was disgusting inside. I honestly am curious how this thing kept running, but definitely the lube held up its end of the deal. Now, during that class, you're shooting a lot of rounds, so the gun gets really, really hot, and I still didn't have a very hard time, or I didn't have a bad time with the oil burning off and then leaving nothing in there except for a dry rifle. So that was one of the good things to be able to test it with. And now, also, like I said earlier, I've also tested this thing in the snow. I had my rifle sitting out for probably at least 36 hours in below freezing temperatures, and then I brought it out to shoot it, left it on the ground, sprayed it even more to just get it nice and soaked, to see if, you know, having excess on there, like something like frog lube, would cause it to lock up. I left it there for another like 30 minutes or so in the snow, pulled it up, shot it, no issues whatsoever. I want to say the operating temperatures that they have listed on their website, and I'll make adjustments if I get it off, but I want to say it goes down to -20, so basically an environment that I probably wouldn't find myself in anyway. And then I think it goes upwards of into the 500 degrees, and it says it can handle even up to 600 degrees, which is hopefully not hot enough that I will ever get this gun to that point. Now, I obviously haven't just been using it in this rifle. I've used it in all my handguns. I've used it in bolt guns. I've used it in really pretty much all the guns that I've touched of mine over the last, I don't know, however many months that I've had this stuff. So the last 4 or 5 months or so now, every gun that I've been shooting has had that XPLC in it. And again, I've had no issues. And, you know, that includes my carry guns. So, you know, obviously I'm trusting my life to it, which should tell you something about it. So I want to run through a couple of the other things that I really like about the XPLC from Strike Industries. One of the things that I like is how easy it is to use. Obviously, you have the spray bottle, and it comes with a straw. I lost that thing a long time ago, again, having it bounce around in ammo cans and everything else. So you can get into nice tight areas if you have to, so you don't have to, if your gun's running sluggishly, you don't have to tear everything apart. You can just kind of stick it in there where you need to, spray it in, cycle it, let it do its job. So that's really nice. It also cleans really well. I've been pleasantly surprised with how well it also cleans. I will say I tested it on a nickel boron bolt carrier to see if it would return the polish to that, which I didn't expect it to be fair, and it didn't. Really, in order to do that, you really have to just take like metal polish out and actually legitimately polish your bolt back up. Not something I'm going to take the time to do since I don't care about that stuff anyway. But just throwing that out there about that is something I did test. One of the other things that I really like about it is something that most people probably don't care about, but something I can definitely appreciate, and that is that it smells delicious. I don't know how I would characterize the smell, but it makes me hungry every time I smell it. It's a very pleasant smell. It's not like a minty smell, like frog lube or anything like that. It's like almost like a sweet, I don't know how to describe it, like a sweet bakery smell. Again, I don't know how they would characterize it, but it is a delicious smell that I've been really enjoying. But yeah, so just throwing that out there. Now, while it does smell good, I don't think you should eat it. It can be harmful if swallowed, so definitely don't eat it, but it does smell really good. But now all of that doesn't matter unless it actually works and keeps your gun running, which, like I said, through the 1,200 rounds, through that one course, was flawless. And then again, through the hundreds and hundreds of rounds I've shot through other guns that have been using that, I've had zero issues. Again, that includes even in the snow and sub-zero, or not, excuse me, not sub-zero, thank God, sub-freezing temperatures that we've been getting here in Oregon. Now, I know one of the things that people like to bring up whenever it comes to lubricants is, yeah, well, you know, everything else works just as good. Now, you know, I haven't tested everything on the market, so I can't speak to that per se. However, I can say that it does indeed work. Whether it works better than regular motor oil, you know, that's for yourself to decide. I will say it cleans better than pretty much your regular motor oils out there. That's usually something you have to use a dedicated solvent or cleaner with, whereas this is pretty much all in one, which takes me to something very interesting that Strike Industries is doing with their XPLC, and that is that they are offering $20,000 to the first person who can prove that there is another product out there that does the cleaning, lubricating, and protecting better than the anti-venom. I believe on their website they have all the details for that competition. So if there are some of you out there who are more scientifically minded and have the tools to empirically prove that something else is better, I would definitely encourage you to get on that. 20 bucks for one of these cans is definitely worth it if you can get $20,000 out of it. And to my knowledge, I don't think anyone has claimed that prize yet, so it's still out there for grabs for anyone interested. But that also, as I kind of briefly glanced over, brings me to the one negative about it, which is that it is a little bit pricey. Again, for one of these 4-ounce cans, I believe it's 20 bucks. If you buy it in bulk, obviously it drives the cost down a little bit. And I believe right now, obviously this is subject to change, but right now on their website they are offering free shipping with orders of anti-venom. So it's kind of hard to beat that. Now, as far as the longevity of it, just trying to listen to it, it feels like it's still about maybe a third to half full over the 4 or 5 months that I've used this. And again, using it on everything. And, you know, again, it's still about a third to maybe a half full. So you're definitely going to get some life out of those 4 ounces. But again, it is a little bit spendy over some of the other options out there that I've used in the past, but not obnoxiously so. And again, with how long it's lasted, that breaks down to $4 or $5 per month. And again, I can get probably another 5 or 6 months out of it, which will bring it down to, you know, $2 a month, which is okay, in my opinion, for something that's going to keep my guns running in any environment that I'm going to find myself in here in Oregon. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing is putting a link below to the SHOT Show booth video that I did with Strike Industries. I would highly encourage you to check it out and also check out their website, and there will be links to that as well. They are doing a lot of really, really cool stuff. What I really appreciate about Strike Industries is their refusal to just accept the status quo. They are constantly doing what they can to stay on that leading edge of innovation in the firearms industry. And it's not even just AR-15s. They are doing AK-47s, Glocks, 1911s, MP5s now, which has been pretty remarkable. You know, they refuse to settle for what's going on out there, and they're constantly trying to do what they can to find better options and better ways and ways to improve your firearm. And I really respect that about them. Now, I don't necessarily like all of their stuff, as you know, you may have seen in other videos, but I do like a lot of their other stuff, like the CQB Viper stock, the Sail Comp, and again, a bunch of the other stuff that I've used of theirs on my 300 Blackout upper. So you'll definitely see a lot more from Strike Industries on my channel. And in my opinion, it's definitely worth looking into their products because I can honestly say that I've been a happy customer myself. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. You know, if you have other recommendations for other good quality CLPs or cleaners or lubricants or anything like that, feel free to throw those in the comment section below. If you've had experience with the XPLC, definitely let me know what your experience has been. It's always good to get different experience, especially from people from other parts of the country where the weather may be colder or hotter or anything like that. So definitely let me know your experience if you've had some. But as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.